So, this podcast is going to be dedicated on a lot of different topics. Not really a lot, but just the joke. It's gonna go on. We're gonna be talking about UFOs, aliens, and shit. I know motherfuckers don't like me talking about it, but I'm gonna talk about it. So, I watched the Joe Rogan podcast with David Grusch. Very interesting. He said a whole lot of nothing, but he did say some things that did catch my attention. First of all, let me say this about David Grusch. I think David Grusch is a credible person. I think he's credible. I think that he's really trying to do the right thing. I don't think he's an agent of chaos. I don't think none of that. I honestly do think that he believes in his mind he's trying to do the right thing for human beings. And I commend that. You know what I'm saying? I do understand that David Grusch, on one hand, wants to help humanity, but at the same time, he wants to protect Americans. And so that's why he's being very careful with his words. And I respect that, my nigga. I really do. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to be all the way gangster with y'all. I respect it. And he broke it down. He actually broke the reason why he can't talk about certain things on the Joe Rogan podcast. He broke it down in a way where I was like, oh, damn, I get that. You know what I'm saying? Because, man, the way he broke shit down on why the government has to do a disclosure, but it has to be time released, is because of national security, which I do get. And a whole lot of lawsuits can come with this if it's not released right. And we're going to get into that. But, so let me just stick on the Joe Rogan podcast. So a couple of things that really stuck out to me. Joe Rogan asked David Grusch, he was like, so how many aliens are out there? And he was like, there are a lot of aliens, but no one has the answers. I think he even hinted to the possibility of aliens walking among human beings. I think he did. And I've been thinking about this for a long time, bro. I honestly feel like if aliens have the technology to come in and out of our planet Earth the way that they do, our atmosphere, our dimension, if they're interdimensional beings or whatever, I think that they would have the technology to actually walk amongst human beings with us thinking that they're human beings. I honestly feel like that. I honestly feel the reason why there is so much pushback for disclosure is because our government has been infiltrated by alien beings from other planets that are masquerading as humans. I think this is a real thing. I don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes, but I think it's a pretty deep rabbit hole. I'm just giving you my opinion. I'm not saying this is facts. But if I was a gambling man, I think that there is a race of aliens out there that have infiltrated our government, our society, celebrities, any person of influence and power. And some regular motherfuckers out here walking around too. It might be a motherfucker that own the liquor store that's a goddamn alien. I'm not talking about illegal immigrants. I'm talking about a motherfucker from planet Serpio. You know what I'm saying? That type shit. Hey, look, I'm going to be real with you, bro. Men in Black to me was a movie that I know it was a funny movie. I know it was a sci-fi movie, but it's a lot of truth to these sci-fi movies. Case in point, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. This is a true fact of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's a true fact that the CIA actually helped Steven Spielberg with this movie. That's a fact. Same thing with E.T., the movie E.T., one of my favorite movies. Close Encounters is one of my favorite movies too. Haven't watched it in a long time. I'm finna go and rewatch it. But yeah, I feel like there are aliens walking among us. It's just my I know it sounds crazy as fuck. You know, I hate to put the tinfoil hat on, but I really do. And I think that they are, not only are they walking among us, but I feel like they had a hand in our development when it comes to us being a species on this planet. Another thing that Joe Rogan and David Grusch talked about was how David Grusch came out and said on Joe Rogan's podcast that, hey, you know, these aliens have been around for thousands of years. He tried to get a specific date, but David Grusch didn't want to do it. You know, hate that, but hey, it is what it is. But he basically came out and said, yeah, they've been around for thousands and thousands of years. David Grusch even came out and said that he thinks that the evolution of human beings comes from extraterrestrial or interdimensional beings. I think at this point of our human existence, we can look at that statement to be somewhat true. Somewhat true. We can at least talk about the possibility. Because why are humans the only thing evolving on this planet the way that we have evolved? Now, there is man, it's so much stuff I want to talk about, but that's just what I feel about that. I don't want to go too deep. All right, I got to kind of stay surface level. I think that aliens, extraterrestrial beings, have been influencing human evolution, where we're going in life, even wars. They talk about that. It's a lot of interesting things that they talk about on the Joe Rogan podcast. Another thing that they talked about too was, I want to talk about the legal ramifications and why I feel like the reason why he said that. That's just my opinion. David Grusch came out and said that they're going to be, the reason why they have to do a time disclosure, which means that they will release certain information, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, like it's going to be a timed disclosure, is because of legal ramifications. Let me tell you what I think is going to be the two biggest legal ramifications, maybe three. The three biggest legal ramifications of disclosure that the government does not know how to deal with. That's why they are pushing back on disclosure. Number one, they're going to have to explain a lot of these murders that they have killed whistleblowers and scientists and people trying to expose this shit. There's been a lot of murders going on since the fucking 40s. Facts. David Grusch comes out and says this. Number two is the legal ramifications. If the government is killing people that work for let's say the government has silenced and killed people that work for the government in these classified black budget projects, aren't those families gonna want to get some type of retribution? Number three, I'm gonna be real with you. Alien abductions. I think that our government, this is just my opinion, I think our government has a hand in alien abductions. I think that we have some type of treaty with the Greys, the gray aliens. There's a lot of information about this. Y'all can look into it. I'm just giving y'all my opinion. I know it sounds cat shit crazy, but I'm telling you, there are a lot of abductions, and I think that those abductions are happening because in order for us to get some of that technology and learn how to reverse engineering certain spacecraft and all this type of shit, hey, we'll give y'all some game. Let us abduct a couple of your people, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? We'll abduct 5 here, 2 here. You know what I'm saying? All that type of shit. Yeah, I think that's been going on. And I think that the government doesn't want that to come out. That's why they really trying to hide this shit. I think that the government is allowing abductions to go on. Not that they can't stop it, but they're willing to let these abductions go on as long as it benefits them too. What was the other one I was gonna say? So yeah, so if our government says that alien abductions are real and they had some type of part in it, what is that going to do for society? What is that going to do for the trust in our government? Human beings on this planet, bro, especially in America, and you can say maybe everywhere else in the world, but human beings trust in their government so much for protection, for energy, power, water, clean water, safe food to eat. We rely on our government for so many things. So if disclosure comes out and come to find out that, you know, these extraterrestrial beings have been just doing what they want to do on planet Earth, what is that? What power will the government have then? Oh, and the other thing is, Dr. Stephen Greer is if you don't know your research on him, do your research on him. Dr. Stephen Greer also came out and said something really good too. Dr. Stephen Greer came out and said that another reason why the government doesn't want to disclose UFOs and declassify it is because of the technology that we have. The technology that he claims, he says that it's life-changing. He's saying that this is free energy. And a lot of companies, a lot of big companies do not want this information to get out because they don't know how to monetize free energy. Which I think it might be kind of bullshit, because I'm like, bro, white people, they monetize everything. Bro, if you can monetize water, you can monetize creating some type of new energy that can power cities for years, for decades, even for centuries. If you can stop world hunger with free energy, white people can find a way to monetize it. You find a way to monetize water, and that's free ever. The planet is 70% water. You monetize that motherfucker, don't you? So, Mr. Stephen Greer, I have a question for you. If we have this great technology, this energy that can end world hunger, can end natural resources getting destroyed, everybody can have lights, water, power, and all that type of shit, you don't think that the government is smart enough to find some type of way to monetize it? That's where I disagree with Buddy, because that don't make no sense to me. Nigga, they sell cans of air right now. Have you ever seen this shit with 2 Chainz going around? He got a show on, I think on GQ. Man, say, bro, they sell fucking air, like expensive cans of air from the mountains of Alps that cost $1,000. Yeah, you ain't never had this type of oxygen. Boy, if y'all can sell oxygen, my nigga, y'all can figure this shit out. Y'all can figure out free energy. The fuck are we talking about? Mr. Dr. Stephen Greer? Make that make sense to me. I don't. Logical shit is not being logical when you say stuff like that to me. That's one thing where I be like, when it comes to Stephen Greer, I be like, bro, that don't make no sense. White people know how to, white supremacy know how to make money off of literal. Bro, y'all can write a law tomorrow and say, hey man, can't nobody dig up dirt no more. America owns all the dirt because it's the minerals. Get the fuck, man, say, make that shit make sense. Make it make sense. Now, let me tell you my theory of what I think is going on. Part 2 coming up.